Hello, and welcome to another Albion EU video. This time we're going to be leveling up the Mace, and at the same time I'm going to be leveling up some plate armor. So, first thing first, I'm going to show you a little couple methods here on how to get your fame up. So, first thing I'm going to show you guys is going out into the black zone and just killing, grouping up the mobs and just killing them. With the Mace is pretty good, it's like some pretty good AoE, but it's terrible in single target damage. So, the best way to do it is to find group mobs and I'll just group them up with your mounts and then dismount and then use your combo. Big damage. Use the first W for the big slam and use the second Q for the AOE hit. So you'd start off with a Q, W, then the E, and then you would go from there. Put your defenses on and then go for the next rotation of damage. But you don't have to do it in black zone. So this is what I would do. I would just go around and deeper into the black zone, not right outside the portal, because there you're probably gonna get ganked and killed by people that just run around there all day. So I would definitely take the invisible shrine and then just go out as far as you can, and then just go around and start killing mobs. The tier of mobs is also important. If you don't have a certain reaver, if you don't have the master reaver, you can't kill. Well, you can still kill the tier 6 mobs, but it'd be very difficult to do. So depending on your reaver, you kind of want to go for those tier mobs. In the black zone, it'll be tier 5. I think it's the lowest that you'll find. If you don't have that, then you could just do this in the blue or yellow zones, or maybe even red if you're feeling really risky. But you don't have to risk it. Just go to the yellow or blue zones and just kill those mobs out there until you have the tier 5 reaver, and then from there you could probably go black zone. But another thing to keep in mind is black zone is very dangerous. You will get slaughtered out here if you're a new player. So keep that in mind. Don't bring anything too expensive. Bring a 4-1 here. This is what I'm using right now, a 4-1 build. I'll show the build at the end of the video as well. I didn't know how I was gonna format the video, but I'll just put the build at the end of it and show you guys what I'm using. But for now, yeah, the basics. Just go out there, kill mobs, and it's pretty simple. Another method you could do that a lot of people tend to do as well is going into the mist, like a common mist for example, and going around and freeing the wisp. So these wisps will give you I believe 6,000, around 6,000 fame for freeing them, which is pretty nice. And if you get a rare, a higher rarity of a mist, they'll give you even more. So you just go around, kill the the guardian mobs that are around the wisps, kill them, and then you just free them, and that's it'll give you a decent amount of fame for for the time invested. Another thing you could do is you can also just go around and look for the group mobs and go for them. I would completely avoid camps, especially if you're a new player and you don't have much spec at all into your build, or you're just kind of doing a random build like I am right now. Then you're probably better off just completely avoiding the camps, because those are probably going to be a death trap for you. Already your health is going to be low, and all your abilities are going to be on cooldown if you're actively using them to kill the mobs, and there's a good chance someone's gonna just appear, behind you or nearby. They're gonna see that you're you're dying to mobs, and they'll just come and finish the job. So I would definitely avoid camps. Just go around, get the wisps that are caged up. Avoid all objectives pretty much, unless you have the spec and you're willing to go for it, or you have a build that's meant for it. But not with the one that I'm showing off right now. You definitely don't want to. Just avoid it. Keep your mount near you at all times, just in case people are trying to gank you anyways. But you should be pretty safe as long as you're avoiding the dangerous areas. Another thing you could do as you're running around and freeing these wisps, if you see an Abbey, definitely go for it. Your build, well, this build in particular is really good at AoE clearing, and it has a nice AoE damage. And the Abbeys, a lot of the mobs are very packed in together, and you can kind of just run into a room, pull them all together, and then just big claps. Go around, drop all your damage on the group, and it becomes some pretty quick clears. Because we don't have that much item power, we're just in 4-1, and we don't have much spec with it. It does take a little bit more time, but as you're getting spec, or if you get better gear, it'll be faster clearing. Another thing you could do, here, I'm leveling up plate armors for future ZVZ builds and small scale builds. I'm gonna be the main frontline tank, going in and snaring all the enemies and pulling them together. So I'm currently leveling up my plates armors. But if you're not not doing that, you could probably just go to a stalker jacket or something like that. Stalker jacket with the mage cowl, yeah, the mage cowl. for just like straight up damage. So you just clear faster and you just get through everything a lot faster. You might want to take some a fish with you so that when you're out of combat, you're like a tier 7 catfish, for example. So that when you're out of combat, your health regeneration will be like increased by a whole boatload. So as soon as you leave combat, you'll see your health just like slowly, well not slowly, but pretty fast recover, pretty quickly recover, I should say. And anything else? And then it's also like the mobs give you a decent amount. They give you a lot more fame here in the Abbeys. And there's like as you're like clearing the camps, there's a good chance you get some chests. And some of these chests could be like really insane, like profit wise. Like you could probably get a lot of silver out of these chests. Just if you see somebody, it's always a better idea to avoid them, even if they're like in 4-1. If they're playing like a proper build, then there's a very low chance you win with this one, like with this Mace build. That's the only problem with the Mace. And the reason why you have to play it so safe is just because you don't really win against a lot of matchups. To be fair, you could if you play it right. Like if you learned a little bit more of like how to play and you tried it out in PvP. There's a good maybe you could pull off something, but I haven't really experimented too much in PvP with the Mace, so I can't really say what's good or not. I'll have to like try it a bit more and then maybe do another video on like a PvP Mace because I'm sure this weapon could actually slap somebody silly, like for sure. And the last method I have here to show you guys is either the pay-to-win mode, where you just buy a bunch of gold, transfer it to silver, and then you just buy a bunch of tomes from the marketplaces. That's one way of doing the pay-to-win, well, in quotation marks, pay-to-win method of like getting your fame up there, just buying a shitload of tomes. Or what you could do is you level up a different weapon that's very good in PvE, like for example, Nature Staff, for example, because you have a lot of damage. You have a lot of like AoE damage with the thorns and the entangling roots or whatever it's called, your W. And you have like if it's like a druidic staff, for example, you have a lot of sustain, so you can actually keep yourself quite healthy through while fighting mobs. And you could solo like a tier 8 dungeon in 4-1 nature, so it is really strong for sure. And it's definitely a good choice if you want to go out there and just like level up in nature to like 100 spec. That way you're transferring a lot of your fame credits, or a lot of your fame is being transferred into fame credits. You got to keep in mind though that once you reach 100 spec, or like 100 in the general tree, it only 20% of that extra fame credits, or 20% of that fame credits is being converted into the fame credits. So that fame, let's say you get like 100 fame, it'll only be like 20 fame credits, for example. Obviously, you're getting way more than that, and there's like a bunch of different factors. Each piece of gear gives you 20%, so it's not just the total amount is 20%. It's like each piece of gear is getting us a specific amount of fame credits. So yeah, those are all the methods I have to show right now. I'm sure there's plenty more, but these are my methods that I would use to spec up my weapon. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was useful, and I'll catch you in the next one.